Embracing stagnation, finding meaning and growth in moments of feeling stuck. Throughout our lives, we've all experienced moments when we've felt stuck. This feeling can emerge as a deep sense of insignificance and bewilderment. In those moments, we can feel an undeniable pressure urging us to move forward, but because we feel stuck, we become immobilized, entangled in the grips of anxiety, fear, and exhaustion. But what if we considered an alternative perspective on this situation? What if we unearthed a deeper layer of meaning hidden in our feeling of being stuck? What if, instead of perceiving it as a problem that requires tireless effort to overcome, we considered it as an opportunity to explore? I, too, have experienced my own moments of stagnation many times. However, as I delved deeper into these periods, I realized that they were nothing more than natural aspects of the human experience. Every time the shadows of worry start to appear, I remind myself that the need for change is not an imperative decree. I abandoned the approach of working incessantly and making up great ideas to speed up progress because sometimes we need a state of inertia. Change comes gradually. We don't need to be constantly striving for progress because, in the end, this can have the opposite effect. When I realized this, a subtle transformation took root within me. I no longer had to wage war against the feeling of inadequacy. Instead, I slowly embraced it. In other words, I came to understand that my perception of being stuck was a reflection of the circumstances I was navigating. But why do we find ourselves in this state of stagnation? So today, we're going to embark on a journey to uncover the answers to this feeling. So let's get started. As human beings, we often fool ourselves into believing that life should obey a predetermined rhythm and follow rigidly defined paths. This can be an illusion that contrasts strongly with the true nature of our existence. We often impose on ourselves the burden of becoming someone we're not, using phrases like should and must. These linguistic clues serve as warning signs, alerting us to our attempts at self-deception, pushing us into actions that go against our innermost desires. But when we release our anxieties and invite serenity to reign, a surprising harmony develops, aligning everything effortlessly in its proper place. That's why I believe it's essential to recognize our inherent impotence at certain moments throughout our lives. While the desire to exert control over every aspect of our existence can be compelling, it still seems to me to be an unattainable aspiration. Instead, we can learn to carefully observe and respond to the unfolding events that life presents us with. The sensation of feeling stuck is similar to quicksand. The more we fight it, the deeper we sink. Imagine it as if you were immersed in water, and the more you fought against the currents, the more it pulled you down. In my personal journey, I also yearned for financial stability, acceptance, and recognition. I fought the implacable desire to exert control and manipulate circumstances without understanding the underlying reasons for this compulsion. But over time, I began to realize that this represented my insecurities, which cast a shadow over my psyche, keeping me sheltered in a self-created identity bubble. It was only when I reconnected with the essence of reality that I began to free myself from this self-imposed restriction. While I was writing this content, a question arose within me, and I feel I must share it with you. So think about it: what is the most serious mistake we make when we feel stuck? When we persistently try to manipulate and change circumstances beyond our control, we inflict undue pain on ourselves. This makes us corrupt our essence in the relentless search to alter the unchangeable. When you feel there is resistance on your part, pause and relax, because the truth is simple: it is what it is. The relentless search for fulfillment, while admirable, must be harmonized with moments of rest. Whether you remain in a state of inertia for just a week or for an entire year, the duration is irrelevant. It is in these moments that we learn to allow life to flow naturally, embracing both its shadows and its radiant moments. Just as the world goes through contrasting stages of darkness and light, so does your life. It unfolds in different seasons and chapters. So stop and reflect. Why burden yourself with worry when kindness to yourself is the path to enlightenment? Do you ever feel as if your life's journey is leading nowhere? If so, there are a few possible explanations for the emotional and mental stagnation you may be experiencing. One example is the weight of mental work. When life's challenges require significant mental effort, a feeling of aimlessness can take root. The burden of overcoming obstacles can lead to a feeling of mental overload or burnout, leaving you unsure of which direction to take. Self-sabotage can also be a real villain in the quest to extricate yourself from difficult situations. You can inadvertently undermine your own potential. This self-sabotage can manifest itself in both work and relationships, perpetuating feelings of stagnation. Another common villain in these moments of stagnation is imposter syndrome. This is a condition in which you doubt your abilities and fear being exposed as a fraud. This condition, although often evasive, is worthy of our understanding. It occurs without conscious intention, making recognition a challenge. However, the moment we become aware of it, the path to transformation reveals itself. At the heart of this condition resides a complex interplay of emotions where our needs and the needs of others compete for our attention. Occasionally, we find ourselves entangled in a web of dilemmas, divided between the desire to satisfy our own needs and the desire to satisfy the needs of those around us. These struggles are an intrinsic part of the human journey. In our quest for a meaningful existence, the fluctuation between these two options can be exhausting. It interrupts our personal growth and leaves us with a persistent sense of dissatisfaction. Consequently, feelings of guilt and worry about the opinions of others can arise, influencing our choices and how we live our lives. But remember this: waiting for external validation can obstruct your path to authenticity and consequently keeps you stuck. Certain conditions beyond our immediate control can cast shadows over our sense of progress. Conditions such as depression and anxiety can increase the feeling of stagnation. But it's crucial to understand that these conditions are not insurmountable. With dedicated effort, anxiety and depression can be controlled, paving the way for a rekindling of motivation and a rediscovery of purpose. Is it possible to treat these mental disorders? Yes, in fact, they are manageable. Just like taking care of physical health, nurturing your mental and emotional health is equally essential. We all encounter a series of symptoms and mental challenges at different times, but even so, don't let these moments determine the course of your life. Instead, if this is really the case for you, transcend the embarrassment that often accompanies these symptoms and seek the support and assistance you really deserve. In moments of stagnation, I practice a series of practices that I believe can also be of great help to you. So let's delve into these concepts which can help you navigate these moments of inertia. Practice 1. Avoid incessant persistence. When you find yourself entangled in a challenging situation, it's essential not to deny it or resist it intensely. Instead, consider avoiding exerting excessive force to free yourself when you don't have a complete understanding of the circumstances. Remain attuned to the thoughts and emotions that arise within you. Don't try to convince yourself that something is wrong because this can hinder your progress. Think about this: what do you think would happen if we gave up control of the uncontrollable aspects of life? So, I ask you to shift your focus to the present moment. When we consciously choose to live in the moment, a new awareness comes over us. We can breathe freely, releasing a sigh of relaxation. This doesn't mean that all disturbing emotions disappear instantly. We can still fight some anxiety, but its hold on us weakens. Although we continue to struggle to let go of certain circumstances, we are gradually making progress towards embracing the conditions in which we find ourselves. If you follow this path, you will also realize that the concept of feeling stuck has much less power over us than we give it. By refraining from tireless efforts to change our situations, we can discover that our perception of those situations undergoes a profound transformation. And so, you find that you begin to savor and appreciate each stage of your journey. Practice 2. Embrace the gentle flow of life. In times of stagnation, it's easy to believe that we've exhausted all our options, leaving us adrift. But there is something profound in the simplicity of being moderate and savoring the essence of life. During these times, instead of looking for answers, give yourself the gift of tranquility and pleasure. Sometimes all it takes is a short break in the routine to clear the clutter from your mind. So consider a moment of deep breathing and resetting your internal compass. It's crucial to remember that there's no guilt in diverting your attention from productivity to enjoying life's simple pleasures. Accepting this break in your routine, even a quick moment, is an act of self-nourishment. So try this approach and tell us about your experiences. I'll be happy to hear from you. Practice 3, the therapeutic power of writing. Writing, dear friends, is an incomparable therapeutic journey available to all of us. When you find yourself at a crossroads, unsure of your next steps, turn to the act of writing. What makes writing so extraordinary is its ability to provide structure and clarity to our thoughts. Whether you're looking to improve existing ideas or simply want to put your worries down on paper, the process is liberating. All you need is a blank page and a pen. Document everything that flows from your mind, and in doing so, you create a deep awareness of the thoughts churning inside you. It becomes an illuminating mirror that reflects the source of your discomfort. With this newfound clarity, addressing core issues becomes a much more manageable task. These are simple practices that really help me. If they make sense to you, I ask that you reflect on them and try to apply them in your life. As we come to the end of this journey, I'd like you to reflect on something important. Why do you do what you do? Take a moment to reflect on this question because in your answer is the key to your resilience in the face of challenges. This may seem contradictory to the notion of letting life unfold naturally, but it's not. While we honor the flow of life, it is equally vital to take the reins of your beliefs and grant yourself the authority to navigate your path. So, the advice I can give you is to live one day at a time. It's a powerful approach, much more effective than just waiting for change when dealing with stress and the feeling of being stuck. This approach can be your guiding light. Also, don't hesitate to seek support from the people around you during these difficult times. Don't try to nurture perfectionism about tomorrow or the future, as this can lead to anxiety. The quest for perfection, often consuming excessive time and effort, can paradoxically produce less than ideal results. It can slow down your personal growth and foster frustration when life doesn't align with your strict expectations. This mindset can lead to that all too familiar feeling of being stuck. So, to break free, consider letting go of the grasp of perfectionism. It's time to embrace the beauty of imperfections and the occasional detours in your journey. For what you reject persists. In other words, if you resist change, you could be perpetually stuck in the cycle of mental stagnation. And the truth is, none of us wants to be captive to such a situation. So accept change as an ally on your journey because it can lead to remarkable transformations in your life. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this article resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this article with others so they can benefit from this message, and don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for reading and for joining me. Take care, and see you soon.